Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we actually have some pretty huge news, and I always like this type of stuff, because you could always go and throw in words like the PlayStation 5 Slim, PlayStation 5 Pro, or whatever, and you can sometimes maybe be on like the really big speculation side. But this is actually pretty much, I would say, confirmed news going on, where there is now something in the works, and this is coming from some of the biggest companies in the world that are now actually using product references and showcasing up this next-gen PlayStation 5. So this is not like, it's like, I would say on the smallest end clickbait, but this is actually very good and legitimate sources, I would say, coming out here for the PlayStation 5 Slim or PlayStation 5 Pro coming out sooner rather than later, which is really nice to see. So as I mentioned, if it comes from like a proper big, like multi-billion-dollar company, coming from their sources and these earning calls and discussing stuff, there is a very high level legitimacy coming from this, rather than say it's some random guy being like, bro, it's coming soon. So we have a lot of things to go show you guys, a lot of cool, interesting news to go show you guys, and pretty much at the end of the day, this is looking and feeling pretty good, so let's go talk about it. As well, if any of you guys are brand new, make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. As well, for the brand new PlayStation 5 giveaway, Amazon links down below for all the signups. We have the Target links where a lot of folks have been getting those, using those links down below, getting your PlayStation 5s, and of course the Twitter and Twitch room down below. So let's dive into the video itself. So as I've mentioned, we've been kind of on this weird looming waiting for the PlayStation 5 Pro or PlayStation 5 Slim. Either or. We've also had a few integrations of brand new PlayStations 2 as well. So this is going to be a kind of a multi-part thing with some pretty cool defining proof over here in a second. But we've now been seeing articles floating around, especially as of this past like 24 hours, discussing how Sony is now buying up as much 6 nanometer chips as they can with both TSMC and AMD for brand new hardware that is suggesting now that the PS5 Pro or Slim is on the horizon. So let's break this down really quickly first and foremost for anyone who's unaware. I'm sure some of you guys may be. TSMC is one of the biggest companies in the world, same with AMD when it comes to tech, when it comes to manufacturing tech and producing all this stuff. AMD is very internal when it comes to both the Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5 development and making of the consoles. TSMC is one of the biggest chipset makers in the entire world. These are both multi-billion-dollar companies, along with Sony themselves also being a heavily pretty big multi-billion-dollar company. But with this, we've had, like, of course, obviously, always take everything with a pinch of salt, too, as well. Sony has now apparently secured a 6 nanometer manufacturing process for brand new hardware with the TSMC and AMD companies, which now is pointing in the direction of the very much rumored and talked about PlayStation 5 Pro and Slim. Although, as of this current moment, we'll show you guys all some more stuff in a second, Sony has not committed to a redesign of its flagship console yet, but given its history of every major PlayStation console to date, besides the PS5 so far, obviously it's been like a newer console, has always had now a Slim iteration. So if you look at this, I think we even had one for like, the PS4 obviously, PS4 Pro, PS4 Slim, all this type, like we usually almost see these almost without a doubt. This happens. I think it's just usually like a nice, so like there's usually like that nice subsection of group of people who are like, well, I'll maybe wait for the Pro to come out. It's already been 2 years. Or, well, I'm going to wait for the Slim because it might be slightly quite nicer, cleaner, better internals, better heat sink, maybe slightly better cheaps, maybe looks nicer, whatever it may be. We usually do have a very large cycle of those folks that are available and around. So with this would make a lot of sense, first of all, in the timing-wise. Now, it's not going to be happening tomorrow. If you guys have a chance to buy a PlayStation 5 the next week, obviously I'd suggest you still buy it. They are still in very heavy demand and selling out pretty quickly. But it does kind of make sense if maybe sometime throughout 2023 or early 2024, we will finally have a chance to go and see these. So we actually have some of these really intriguing articles over here too as well from Zuby, which showcases up some very intriguing stuff I want to show right here. So this is the RFQ summary. And if you guys can see this, the product RFQ sheet summary. And this is from TSMC itself, unless there's anything edited, we can always give you guys more updates from there. Customer, Sony themselves. Country, Japan. Date, 03/03/2022. Location, Tokyo. Objectives, launch a refreshed version of the PlayStation 5 minimum 9% on cost of SoC compared to the prior version. So they are number one, trying their best to obviously cut some cost on it, which may allude a little bit more towards the PlayStation 5 Slim, if I had to say, mainly because typically if you want a Pro, you're probably going to be spending about the same, roughly, or give or take, or even maybe slightly more, because then typically you could have a good justification to cost and make it cost more. So if I had to go and fully push, I'd probably say PlayStation 5 Slim, mainly because, like I said, you want to be pushing like more on a more fresh version. You want to have a lower cost. How do you typically, like, let's think in a general sense, you're trying to go buy a 15-ounce jar of peanut butter, 20-ounce jar of peanut butter, which is going to cost less. Obviously, the 15-ounce, you're getting less from it. So think the same thing for a Slim. Less plastic, less weight to go and ship it. Internals, maybe a smaller heatsink if the console's not as big. You have a more, like, 2 or 3 years more developed internals, so maybe they run less hot and they're more efficient. Like, it would definitely lean a lot more towards a Slim, if I had to say. Product description: the SoC AMD 6 nanometer, so N6 chipset. Description of application: refreshed PS5 2023, which is also not that far away, because we are in August. It is only technically 4 months away now for us to, 4 months a little bit, to get closer to the 2023 lifetime. Project name: Next Gen PS5. Contact name: Jean-Pierre Deplot. Key account purchaser at jdolot at sony.com. And the start of the prototype is 03/03/2022. And you guys can kind of see a lot of these numbers as well when it comes to these things. So targeted unit price at $212 when it comes to the internals. Now, some of this could even be fake or made up, but when it comes to these pictures, we can kind of look at it from, pretty in depth to kind of go and see. As well, typically, sometimes these dates are more so filler dates too as well, but we did see a lot more rumors these past, like, I'd say, around March, April, May, so it would also maybe line up too as well from these times. So also trying to go push for an 18% higher transistors density and clock speed, which is more powerful and efficient too as well, which maybe makes sense too more in regards to the Pro side, or if they're trying to go for Slim, maybe for just like they have to have a smaller processor, less heat, more efficient, less heat sink, smaller heat sink, so more efficient, you can kind of justify and push it either way. You also want to have a smaller chip size compared to the SoC 7, so basically the 7-inch nanometer, or whatever whatever the proper terminology is for. It's like the slightly bigger nanometer thing. Performance: equivalent at least to the SoC N7 processor, which I do believe is the current one, the PS5. And then power consumption as well, also making it equivalent. So it can kind of go either way. They're trying to go push for more power and more efficiency, and also a smaller chip size. So it could either go towards the Pro, or it could either go towards the Slim. Like I said, we'll probably I'm not sure how I'll want to title this video, either or, but it does seem very likely for either side. There are advantages of this SoC: reduces energy waste, saves up on spending costs, reduces the space occupied by large systems, and easier manufacturing steps as well, thanks to the new EUV layers usage. So this is why I kind of maybe lean towards maybe on the Slim side, because you're reducing energy waste, saves on spending costs, which obviously if you're spending less, you are typically like producing and moving less. And I do think the reduces the space occupied by large systems. I think that's almost once again pushing towards the Slim, because like a Pro, fine. I mean, if you guys have seen PCs and even like say cars or whatever, typically we have a lot more of these bigger things too as well. So it can kind of go on either one of these sides too. We also have an updated N Nano 6 layout advantages too as well, as you guys are looking through the GPUs. Multi-core layout with set 8 Zen cores, better control distribution, and closer memory system to the Zen cores, improve latency and data supply to the cores too as well. So you guys can kind of look and see this. It's just kind of just going and showcasing up like how stuff is more specifically closer, how it seems more optimized, and how it's just overall just a better internal system coming out with this redesign going for it. So in my mind, this can kind of go either way. There also is some new information coming out with it too that might also chime into maybe a secondary video. So if you guys want me to do a little bit more of a deep dive into potential PlayStation 5 Pro, because this does seem to lean a little bit more towards the PlayStation 5 Slim, leave a comment down below or subscribe if you guys would want that. I wouldn't necessarily mind. But seeing this information, it does seem like this is looking pretty much confirmed. It does look like it's pretty much Tsmc kind of giving out some information that this will be coming. We don't know exactly still when, where, or how, but it should be coming in the near future. And as well, I'm just very intrigued on all this stuff. So make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on as well for the brand new PlayStation 5 giveaway. We also have the Target links down below, the Twitter and Twitch stream down below, and as well, give me your thoughts and comments too, because I would love to go and hear it.